Welcome to the Empowered Podcast with Deanna Merlino, an all-encompassing personal development show where I will be sharing with you just how to transform yourself into the best version of you, both inside and out. From wellness, entrepreneurship, spirituality, and manifestation, I'll be showing you exactly how to live your best life. I will be keeping it as real and raw as it gets. So get ready to peel back the layers and really transform yourself under the surface. Because nothing is better than finding your purpose and living this life as your true, authentic self. Okay, you guys, I have a really great and exciting episode for you all today. I am interviewing Amanda Maddalena, and we met at a networking event and just hit it off immediately. It was like the sparks flew, and I just knew she was someone that I wanted to stay close to. We have the same business mentality. We have the same drive. We even look similar. We have very similar life stories and life circumstances and backgrounds, and I just had to have her on today's episode. Amanda Maddalena is a registered dietitian and certified personal trainer, helping women achieve not only their dream bodies, but their dream life. After achieving her master's degree in human nutrition science and running her own studio in person, she realized that her passion was helping women dig deeper into their health and fitness journey and become the best version of themselves. She now runs a 6-figure company online, helping women all around the world achieve their dream body while living their best life, because she believes you can have it all. So do I, and I can't wait for you to listen to today's episode. Enjoy. Welcome back, Empowered fam. I am so excited for today's episode. If you have not noticed, I was doing a lot of interviews and I just felt called to stop for a while, but I met today's amazing guest and knew right away that I had to have Amanda on. I am just so excited to have you here, Amanda, and I would just love for you to tell us who you are, take the floor, share all the gold about yourself.
Oh, amazing. Well, thank you for having me. I am so excited. When we met, I was like, oh, we are very, very similar. So I'm very excited.
We just hit it off.
Yeah. So yeah, a little bit about me. I am a registered dietitian, certified personal trainer, been in the health and fitness space for 7+ years now. And wow. I really dive in and help women not only look, but feel their absolute best. So very sick and tired of the diet culture. So my main mission is to help women really look and feel their best the right way, if you will, without dieting or jumping into any of the fads.
I love that. And I think that's one of the things that drew me to when we got to meet. So you guys have probably heard me talking about Beauty Boost here and there now. And Amanda was actually one of the speakers at one of the events. And I'll have you share like your story a little bit more in depth, because that's really what drew me to you. But just the how toxic that both the industry, the mentality of it's even some coaches, but a lot of the people going in thinking, I need to lose this weight in order to love myself. I'll be happy when I lose this weight. And we both know that it goes so much deeper than that. So that was really what drew me to you. I'd love for you to kind of share your history of what led to that transition. Because I know, and for me too, I entered into that realm with that thought process myself.
Yeah, that's actually how I got into the dieting industry or the fitness industry. So I was back in 2019, I was doing bikini shows. And I had thought that because I was going to school to get my nutrition degree, I'm a registered dietitian. And I thought, well, I need to quote unquote look the part, right? So I was like, I got to go all in. And that's when I had found bikini shows. I'm a very competitive girl. I did sports my whole life. And so I was like, all right, this is it. And I thought that achieving this dream physique was going to lead me to way more success, way more happiness, love, the whole 9 yards. Like I thought that was it. So I was on this journey for years of dieting and doing the most extreme, ridiculous things. Like I would literally take Tupperware to restaurants and be eating as my friends were
living that life.
Food. Yeah. I'm just prepping. And that was my norm for so long. And to then I get to the stage, I'm competing in this tiny little bikini, being judged and picked apart, and I still hated myself. I was
Mm,
on stage and I was like the most insecure I was ever
mm,
was. And I was like comparing myself to the other women there and picking myself like I'm bigger or I'm this or I'm that. And I was like, oh my God, I am still picking
mhm.
myself apart. I still hate the way that I look. I have no confidence. I have no self worth, and I'm so alone. And I stepped off that stage and I was like, now what?
Mm.
Okay. So I recognized, and I was at the time, I'm like, well, I'll just prep for another show. Like, right? Let's just do more. Let's just do more. And maybe it'll
More is always the answer.
right? I'm like, yeah, let's just keep going. So I continued to, I was like prepping for another show and I was dieting hard, like low calories, working out like crazy. And my body was gaining weight. And I was like,
Mm.
how is this happening? And not to mention, I lost my menstrual cycle for over a year
Wow.
and my digesting foods. I mean, I was an in person personal trainer, I had my own studio. And I was running to the bathroom continuously because I couldn't keep anything in my system. I was like, something is wrong.
Wow.
Something is wrong.
Mhm.
So I had dealt with a lot of health issues, both physically and mentally. And I was like, this can't be my life. This cannot be my life. And I will never forget. I was listening to a podcast, and one of the conversations was, how would somebody describe you? Right? What if somebody were to ask you, like, who is Amanda Maddalena? Right? Obviously, this was a podcast. So I was putting myself in their
Yeah.
shoes. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. And then it was like, okay, well, what are your hobbies? I had none. I
I have
was like,
chills.
I was my day is literally I'm up at 4 in the morning. I'm doing my cardio. I'm opening the studio. I'm training people all day. And then I go back at night, eating out of my Tupperware, and I go to bed because I have to get up early or I have to do cardio and I can't go out because then I'll eat or drink and that'll be off plan. I was
Mm,
so alone. And I realized this is not how I want my life to be. I need to make a change. I will be
mhm,
alone and miserable for the rest of my life if I continue to go on this journey.
mhm.
So that was when I was like, enough is enough. I have to hire a coach. And I'm very much, let me just hire all the coaches, like 5 coaches.
That's me too.
But I was like, I knew what I was doing wasn't getting me to where I wanted to be. And I was like, I desired way more in life. And I lost myself. And I was like, I don't even know who I am anymore. So,
Yeah, I mean, I can very much relate to that. I did the same thing. I competed for years. It was how little can I get? How much muscle can I get? How whatever. And it was coming from this place of if I become this, then I would be worthy. If I become this, then I would be loved. If I become this, then I would be happy when truly that is like the absolute opposite of what we need to be doing. That is none of attaining something. And in that world, also, it's like an unattainable goal. There is no destination per se. But it's like this never ending chase of not being enough. It's just this ever fueling cycle of not feeling enough, not being enough. And I think like really, and this goes for everyone, and this goes for wherever, what journey you're on, whether it's fitness, wellness, spirituality, entrepreneurship, whatever it is. It's almost like you have to reach that quote unquote rock bottom for you to really be like, this is not it. Like something has to change. I wanted to bring that up because I feel like there's so many people in life who are like, well, I've been through all of this, so I can never become that. Or I'm going through so much stuff. Like there's never going to be anything different. And for me, the perspective shift for me, truly, it's like, that's amazing because the bottom is where it starts. Like you have to go through those things in order to find your actual path that you're supposed to be on.
yeah. And everyone that comes into our world, we find all women, let's be honest, we're always trying to look our best, right?
Yeah.
I think it's
Mhm.
just a stigma. And a lot of women that are coming into our world is, I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight. And the first thing that I ask them is, why?
Yep.
Why do you want to lose weight? Why are we on this journey in the first place? Right? It's not a matter of like hitting that specific number on the scale, because when you hit that number on the scale, what changes?
Right.
You don't, there's not a light switch moment that you're like, oh my God, I'm a new, confident, happy, successful woman, unless you do the inner work simultaneously.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because no matter what you weigh, whatever the weight loss goal is, you will never be happy. It'll never be enough
Mm-hmm.
if you don't learn how to create the happiness, the fulfillment within.
That's another reason why I love what you do, because truly it's not about that. Like their outcome can be like, I want to be in the bikini. I want to, fit in these clothes that make me feel good or whatever. But it's really about who you become on that journey of reaching that goal. And our goals are always changing, but it's like you're helping women, people through that journey of what's actually underneath and the steps that need to be looked at in order to change the other more important, the mentality, your beliefs, your values, your, really uncovering what it is that you truly actually want out of yourself and out of your life, and helping them through that process on their way to fitting in the bikini and feeling good in their clothes and all the amazing stuff that comes with, that wellness journey.
Yeah, because you can have both. You can have it all. You can have your dream body while living your dream life. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't seem like, I never thought it was possible. I was like, yeah, okay, tell me that years ago, and I would have never believed you.
Mm-hmm.
But when you do the inner work, let's work on like, what am I striving for? What are the experiences that I think that I'm going to get, or what feelings are going to be provoked when I achieve this body? Right? That's what we're craving. So when I
Yes.
got into the bikini world, I was looking at these women of like, wow, they're confident, they're happy, they're living their best life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I desired. It
Yeah.
wasn't necessarily that tiny, tiny physique. Well, like, yes, but more so the happiness, the success, that life that I also wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got on that scale and when I got on that stage, I didn't have that life.
Yeah.
So that's when I realized, like, yeah, there's a disconnect.
It's so funny that you literally were just talking about you can have it all instead of that either or. My podcast episode last week is literally called Let's Lose the Either Or Mentality. Like talking about the fact that we literally can have it all. We get so caught up in this thinking that we have to sacrifice something in order to get something. And yeah, there is work and effort and consistency and drive and all the things that go into attaining our goals. But truly, you don't have to sacrifice your values, your morals, the things that you want to feel, the things that you want to have, while also going after the thing that you're chasing, whether that's success, the body, the happiness, the peace, the freedom, the love, the joy. We literally have the ability to have it all. And I think it's so important. It's so important. Like I love seeing what you're doing, because unfortunately not the whole industry looks at it that way. Like there is still very much that unhealthy stigma behind a lot of it. And I think for me, that was part of the reason why I shifted out of that world. And I actually would love to touch on that with you for a bit, because I feel like I know enough about you to know that like there is that I think as coaches, whatever it may be, I started as a fitness coach and shifted more into life coaching. There is that struggle of seeing non-healthy patterns in industries and then shifting the way that we show up as coaches. So I would just kind of love to talk about your journey, your thoughts, where you're at with all of that and yours, because you're even in like a middle of an evolution in how you offer business and how you offer coaching as well.
Yeah, initially getting into the fitness space, there's a lot of the fads, right? The quick fixes. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's our society, we
Yeah.
crave really quick results,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so initially I would get really frustrated, and I'd be like, man, like, do I really want to be in this industry? And then I had a perspective shift, right? At the end of the day, everything's mindset. I'm like, I
Yep.
can actually make a difference.
Yep.
I can be the outcast of the dieting industry. I can, well, certainly, because initially in my journey, I thought weight loss was the answer. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know what I didn't know. So I'm like, well, if women can come in, sure, wanting and expecting weight loss, absolutely, we can get them that science. We've got it. But if we can really integrate these additional pieces, we can change lives. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm here to do. Is I gained
Mm-hmm.
my life back whenever I finally hired somebody to help me navigate this. So that was my driver. And that's why I still am in the industry, because I'm like, I will make a difference in any woman's life that comes into our world.
Mm. You know what I love so much about this, and I've been talking a lot about this too, and I don't even know if I've really shared it on the podcast, but just in conversations. And like I'm sure you hear it being on the online space, you probably see it, but there's all this chatter of the industry is oversaturated when it comes to coaches and all of that, right? But like, okay, well, guess what? That's okay with me because that means we get the opportunity to be the ones that stand out. Sure,
Mhm.
there may be like if there's all these coaches, we'll call it 100 coaches, there is maybe 3 of those 100 who are standing out from that and doing it in a different way, doing it in a way that's sustainable, doing it in a way that's actually creating true transformation, doing it in a way that's life changing. And that's for any aspect of the coaching industries, but I'm okay with the thought process of there's so many coaches out there, because guess what, that means there's a lot of not great coaches out there, and I'm going to set myself apart from that. And I know you do the same exact thing.
Absolutely. And there's only one me.
Mhm.
So I really believe that I'm all about connection, because I
Mhm.
think on when connection is there, like that transformation happens. So
Yeah.
I really believe, like, it's great. There's a ton of more coaches that for you to choose from. Amazing. Who do you connect to? Who do you align with? And then invest and go all in for that.
Mhm.
But I also think, like you said, there could be a lot of noise and maybe not a lot of educated
Yeah.
or whatever you want
Mhm.
to have it. But again, shop around, see who you connect with, and make yourself stand out. What makes
Mhm.
you different? Like, I can be a unicorn in the dieting industry,
Mhm.
and the right people will come to us, and that's when their lives will be changed. So I think making yourself stand out is the name of the game.
Absolutely. And that's the one, like, you're so authentic. Like, you're very much like, this is me. This is what you're going to get. And if you align with that, great. And I think that's where energetics really come in, because it's like, okay, there can be all these people, like, we clicked right away.
Mm.
Like attracts like. If there's someone
Yep.
with a similar mentality, I'm able to sniff that out like immediately, for lack of better words. But it's like when you meet someone, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, but when you are your authentic self, there is no need to prove. There is no, like, you don't get exhausted by it in a sense, because you're not trying to put on this persona that's not you. I was just having a conversation with she's a good friend of mine. She nannies my son every once in a while. I've had her at several of my retreats, and we were just kind of talking about the same thing in the coaching space. What's been coming up a lot of our clients are complaining about that, like, oh, I got burned in the past by a coach, or I got burned by an investment, that type of thing. So having that fear of investing again, per se. And she was talking about how the one thing that she really like, and it fuels her, and it was refreshing for me to hear as a coach, was that her biggest thing that she finds attractive of me is my authenticity and the
Mhm.
way that I share my story. Like, and it's the same with you. That's why I was attracted to you. Like, you are going to share your true self. So the
Mhm.
people that are coming to us, they came because they like us for who we are. They're attracted to us as people. They like the way we carry ourselves. And I think just for anyone who's listening who is toying with the idea of becoming a coach, or maybe you've been burned in the past by a coach, or maybe you're at a place in your business where it's like, how do I stand out? It's that authenticity and connecting on a level where it's like, this feels good. This feels in alignment. Like, this, I know this would be good for me. And just, being that true version of yourself. I think that's why we do stand out.
I couldn't agree more. And that is my newest adventure, if you will. I am adding business coaching into my container because I want to help other online fitness professionals gain their traction
Yeah.
and the way that I would have loved to, because I've
Mhm.
been through so many coaches and so many mentors myself, some great, some bad.
Mhm.
So what I wish would have happened early on in my journey is that I could have linked arms with somebody who was truly authentic and
Yeah.
like took me under their wing and was like, let's go and let's build it the way that you want to build. And
Mhm.
that's really what I want to make a difference, growing the fitness industry space, helping other coaches let's build and scale your business online to what you want and stay
Mhm.
authentic to yourself to then attract your people. And that makes
Mhm.
business fun to me. It's exhausting to try to be somebody that
Yeah.
you're not, or to create offers that you think are going to sell and just bleeding into that noise. I mean, then you're on a hamster wheel.
Mhm. I love that so much. Like I have chills. I'm so excited for you to be shifting into that aspect of your business as well. And we kind of talked about that when we got together, just talking about, investments that we've made, shifts that we're having, really just wanting to create that space for other people in ways that we didn't get to have that.
Mhm.
And the one thing that I want to talk about is like, and it's the same with everything. It's the same with life. It's the same with your evolutionary journey. It's the same with everything. We know what we want after going through and experiencing what we don't want.
Mhm.
So, for as far as like investing in coaches and mentors, and it didn't turn out the way that you hoped or wanted to, or maybe you just had a flat out terrible experience, but now you're stepping into mentorship and coaching in this way, you know how to be because you know what not to do. Like you learned, it's all about learning from your experiences.
Yeah.
We learn who we are and what we want to be by and what we want by going through what we don't want.
100%. And at the end of the day, everything is perspective. Like
Mhm.
I could have used, I've gotten burned, like very, very crappy
Yeah.
situations. And I could have allowed that to be like, oh, don't invest again. Like everyone's slimy. Like, don't take the chance. And it's like, no, I could sit and play the victim, or
Mhm.
I can't allow that to taint everything else. So
Yeah.
you just take pieces of, like you said, each investment, each mentor. What do you like? What do you not like? And you keep growing and evolving. And then you
Mhm.
come up with what container, or what do you look for in a mentor specifically? Like, what do you need? And then
Yeah.
also, to your point, is why I want to create a space to do things the way I would have loved to be supported.
Mhm. There's two things that I hope I don't lose from that. When I get like an intuitive hit, they don't stay for long. The first one is that, oh no, I don't want to lose them. They were both so good. Okay, I'm going to go to the second part first. One of the things that you said was that like you want to create the thing that you desired in a coach.
Mhm.
That right there is that is like your superpower. Like for
Mhm.
people who are listening, we're like, well, I want to do something, but I don't know what to do. Create the thing that you need that no one was there to help you with, that you
Yep.
learned how to do yourself, or you learned, like you figured out your way how to do it. And there seemed to be no one else there that had that offering. Like
Mhm.
that is such a good place to start. Like if you have perfected something and that's what you needed, and there's just not that offering, that's where I would recommend starting. Like that's how you show up in a way that's authentic to you and you know the needs there because you needed it.
Right. 100%. And that's
Mhm.
why, and early into my journey, like I had said, I wanted somebody a little bit more one on one. Again, that
Mhm.
connection piece that I thought was missing. But there's a big theme in the industry of that you have to invest $1 million to get
Yeah.
one on one coaching for a year. And it's like, okay, like starting out in my business, I didn't have that.
Mhm.
So it was, I want to make it affordable and reasonable to be one on one, to build the individual businesses, not
Yeah.
a here's one size fits all. This is how you need to build your business. Like, take it and run.
I love that, especially because you hear so much like you have to niche down and you have to do it this way. And this was the way I did it. So it's the only way that works. And there is no one size fit all option for anyone for anything. Like we are literally no two people are the same at all. Yeah. Are there going to be similarities? Yes. But like trying to say that this is the only mold that is going to work for your business, like that's just not accurate and that's just not fair. And it also, I feel like, discourages people so much when they're just trying to find their footing in the first place in this crazy landscape of entrepreneurship. And I just remembered the other thing that I was going to say was when you were talking about like you could have let that deter you or you could have stopped investing or whatever. I think that the way that you went about it, and it's the way I've done it too, like it allows you to take your power back. Like
Mhm.
you may have gone through a poor experience or one that, you didn't feel like the investment lived up to what you invested. But by instead of saying, like, you know what, I'm never investing again, or I'm never putting myself out there again, or you know what, clearly this isn't for me, I'm just going to throw it away, scratch that. You're taking your power back by saying, you know what, I'm going to take what I learned from that. I'm going to take what I didn't like. I'm going to take what I liked. I'm going to shift. I'm going to pivot. I'm going to move forward, and I'm going to listen to when I know I feel like an investment is right, and then I'll jump again. Like, just it allows you to take your power back in those situations where you may not have had the best experience.
Yes. And I promised myself early on in my journey that when I was leaping into the entrepreneurship, the business owner, no matter how hard things got,
Mhm.
I would never, ever, ever quit.
Mhm.
Ever. And because
Burn the boats.
life is messy. Life is
Mhm.
messy. Things get really challenging. But I really believe that your true strength lies between how you navigate the chaos, how you navigate life throwing curveballs at you. Like anybody can build anything or stick to a weight loss regimen when life is perfect, but
Right.
that, let's be honest, that never happens. So how you
Mhm.
learn to adapt and grow to each situation and each season will set you up for success.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. And I've been talking a lot about universal laws recently, and I use them a lot in my coaching, with myself and with my clients. But the universal law of faith, that is literally like, you have to, like, you can never, ever, 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 ever give up. That's it. Can you pivot? Yes, of course. Should you
Mhm.
be smart and shift sometimes? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, holding on to that faith of, like, this is for me. I am going to be successful no matter what. I am burning the friggin' boats. I am not backing out. I am going to find a way no matter what. Those are
Mhm.
the people who are successful. It is going to get hard. It is going to get messy. It is going to get discouraging. There are going to be lows, but when you keep pushing, all I say is, like, it's mathematical in my mind. Like, the only way to fail is quit. And the
Yep.
way to success is by not quitting. That's it. You just keep going. You just have to keep going. Yeah, I love that so much. And I love that we're able to be the proof to people to just keep pushing.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
when you're going through it, just hold out.
Yeah, I think that's the most challenging piece, right? I love to listen to very successful like actors and actresses and like entrepreneurs and really getting in their head of how do they think, how do they view life, like what is their mindset. And so many of them say like get comfortable being bored. And I used to be
Mm.
like, I don't know about that. Like when I build, I don't want to be bored, right? But then it sat with me, and it's very similar to weight loss. I think business and weight loss is very, very similar. And
Absolutely.
it's like how you act when things might not seem like they're working, right? When things are a little quiet, you feel like you're crushing content, you feel like you're crushing everything in business, but why is it not working? Same with weight loss. I'm doing all of the things, yet it's not working. In those moments, continuing to show up and building the wins and stacking even the failures, continuing to move, that's when the breakthrough happens. That's when the transformation happens. So it's okay to have some quiet time or to be quote unquote bored. Just keep leaning in and showing up. And that's when transformation happens. I had to get
Oh,
real comfortable with that.
and it's hard, especially because we're that society who's so used to instant gratification. I want results now. I did the work. Why? It's like, okay, I planted the tree. Where's the fruit? But like, a farmer's not going to plant a seed and there's going to be an apple tree there tomorrow, right? It's a season. What you said is so true. And I always talk about this as the void, that space of nothingness, but that's where all of life comes from.
Mhm.
That's where the birth of everything comes from. So getting uncomfortable in that nothingness, to me, like, when it gets quiet, I have finally realized, like, this is kind of exciting because this means that something amazing is about to come from this. And it's hard when you're first going through it to be like,
Mhm.
wait, I need, like, and then you get in this cycle of, what more can I do? I need to do more and
Yeah.
nothing's happening. Like, but that is not the key. The key is literally what you just said, like, get comfortable in that
Mhm.
nothingness, that silence, that being bored. And that's, I also need to take that to heart. I'm a go, go, go person. Yeah, we both are. So
Mhm.
it's like a good reminder for us as well, as, really just strong go-getter women who want to get
Mhm.
shit done. Like I've
Oh yeah.
got stuff to do. Let's keep it moving.
Yep, like that
Um,
higher achiever, like I'm a high achiever. Let me just go, go, go,
yeah.
go, go. And
Hmm.
it's not necessarily doing more,
No.
right? It's again, and that's when a lot of times people feel quote unquote unmotivated. I hate the term like
Yeah.
motivation, but
Hmm.
when things are slower or the results might not be coming in as quickly as maybe they were in the beginning, then it's like, oh, I'm not motivated anymore because we're relying on external factors to come in
Yes.
and almost validate or make us quote unquote happy to keep moving. Like we can't rely on
Mm.
external factors, whether that's money, whether that's the scale, whether it's people applauding us to fill us up or to make us keep going. If we rely on external factors, we're going to be miserable forever.
Hmm. It's like, yeah, those are great quick hits of that dopamine, or those are great quick hits of like, ooh, that felt good. That's not what we're actually chasing. And I think that's where you help sort through the noise of like, that's not your actual goal. Like
Right.
that's not longevity. That's not something that's going to be forever. Like you're looking outside of yourself for something that you need to go within and look at
Mhm.
what's really, what you're really looking to navigate. Speaking of hard things, I would love to talk about maybe some of like the hard things that you've been through throughout, whether your business, throughout your life. I know we've both lost our fathers. So that's something that like obviously has really affected both of our lives massively.
Mhm.
Whether you want to touch on that, and navigating grief in business. That's something I love to talk about and share about, or just, other hard things that have come up throughout your business that could derail anyone. But you choose to keep pushing forward.
Yeah, I think the loss of my father was the hardest. My father and I were very, very close. Daddy's little girl. He actually was
Mm.
a big part of me being in the fitness industry. We would go to the weight room together. He always joked he wanted to
Aw.
be in my business. Like he was a big part of my whole journey. So losing him so early was and traumatically just totally knocked me off of my feet.
Mhm.
And in those moments, again, going obviously everybody deals with grief differently,
Yeah.
but I think I took like two 2 weeks out. I was home in Pennsylvania with my mom, and it was just one thing at a time, right? One day at a time. But I knew that sitting and continuing to play the victim card, I eventually got here. At first, I was like, life sucks. Life, this isn't fair.
Mhm.
But if I sat and played that victim card over and over and over, and the woe is me, like I was like, I will never move forward. And he
Mhm.
would never want me to give up on my dreams.
Mhm.
And so for me, he was a big motivating factor to like get back in it. Like let's go. Like you've got to continue to move forward, and that piece kind of motivated me, and I realized losing him, time is all we have.
Mhm.
Time is everything. So I cannot take any time for granted. So since then, I've been so intentional about my time, my energy, and making the most of it. And
Mhm.
it drove me even more to want to help women not waste any time hating themselves, to
Mm.
waste any more time
Woo.
not spending time with their loved ones, and being like not being in their photos with their kids because they hate to look at themselves, like because I wasn't present for a lot of my life. And
Mhm.
so that grieving let did lead to motivating to help even grow my business even more.
Mm. Thank you for sharing that. And I was going to ask and it's again, depending on where people are in their grief journey, we all handle it differently. And I was very much like you. I was very, very much the same way. Um, but some people hearing this who are going through loss may not be able to find a lesson in it yet, per se. But I truly believe that lessons come from everything. I believe that there is beauty even in the pain.
Mhm.
Um, and I was going to ask what your lesson was, but I think that was it. That was your lesson, that, how precious time really is.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that was beautiful. Thank you for sharing
Yeah,
that.
of course. That and mental health is everything. Like
Mhm.
if you have to, you can't just work on physically changing your body. You have to do the inner work as well. I lost
Mhm.
my father to suicide, and the mental health component is just we can't ignore it. We have to find the happiness and fulfillment within to keep working on your journey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that I was really shocked when I don't know why, but I was really shocked when I was heavily personally training and all of my clients, I felt like were actually there for me as like a counselor or like just a shoulder to lean on or like I really was like, okay, I can't wait to, you know, kick your butt into gear and give you this
Yep.
awesome workout. And it was so much so that people were just actually craving that connection in a different way. And that was the whole shift for me out of fitness into wellness, into energetics, was that people think because you when you don't know, you don't know. I didn't know. You learn as you go, right? We're all in different stages of our journey. But it was like a guise of, oh, I just want to be accepted. I want to be loved. I want to look this way. I want to feel this way. But really, it was the internal shift that they were looking for. They just didn't know it. And so I couldn't agree more that it's so important that we do that. There's work on both sides.
Yeah.
But it's all encompassing. There is no one without their other. There needs to be the balance of that mind, body, soul. It's all connected.
Mm-hmm.
There's that wholeness that we're looking for comes from that balancing of each of these aspects.
Yes, that's why I always say I help women not only achieve their dream body, but their dream life, because
Mm-hmm.
it all goes together. You can't have one without the other, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this was amazing. Is there
Yeah.
anything else that is on your heart to share? Is there any advice you're being called to share? Is there anything else that you just want the world to know about Amanda Maddalena, whatever it is? This is your time to share anything you want to.
Oh boy, how long do we have? No, I'm just kidding. No, really, whatever you want, whatever you desire in life, go for it. Because if it's on your heart, then you're meant for it. You just need to
Mhm.
take the actions to get there. So you can, in fact, have it all and create your dream life.
Yes, 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 yes. Snaps to that. Okay, tell us, where can the listeners find you? Actually, is there any like program that you have going on or coming up with the new year, and just what can people plug into for you right
Yes.
now?
So New Year is coming. So we have our main offer is VIP coaching. So we are really hands-on. Again, I'm real all about connection, one-on-one. So we customize your nutrition and your training all to you. So to achieve your dream body and dream life, we've got that. And then on the business
Mm,
side of things, we are helping a handful of fitness coaches really help get them set up online so that they can take off and scale and grow their business of their dreams. So we have both offers available at this time. And you can
mm.
find me on both Instagram at _Maddalena, which we can probably put in the show notes because I have a very long
Yeah,
last
it'll
name.
I'll put it in the show notes for you. Don't worry.
And then on Facebook, Amanda Maddalena. You can find me on there too.
Amazing. Guys, anyone who is listening, I mean, I always used to like do this for my people too. I don't do this anymore. So if you need that fitness guidance, if you need that stuff, go to Amanda. I will pass you off to her since I don't have that offering anymore. Amanda, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule at the busiest time of the year for us to do this interview. This was so much fun, and I'm just so grateful that you're here. And I feel like you're a soul sister, so I cannot wait to just connect even more. We're actually both going to be we're going to be keynote speakers at an event coming up in January together. So just a lot of really good things coming from our worlds together.
So excited. Thank you so much for having me. It was so fun.
Absolutely. Okay, empowered listeners, I hope you have the best day, the best week, and I will see you next time on the Empowered with Deanna Merlino podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. If you want to find out more, you can follow me on Instagram at Empowered with Deanna and my personal page, Fit Deanna Lolita. You can also visit me on my website, which is deannamerlinofit.com. Make sure that whatever platform you guys are listening on, please rate and subscribe. And this means so much to me. It's going to help get me out there to help so many other people. I'm so grateful that you're here with me on this journey of wellness and self-empowerment. I cannot promise that it will always be easy, but I do know that it will always be worth it. Stick with me, and together, let's start living as the version of us that we were meant to be. Because the world is waiting for your gifts, and you deserve to live the life of your wildest dreams and beyond. So friends, let's get empowered.